Let me ask you something. If you listed your home for sale today, do you actually know what it's worth? Like really worth? Not what Zillow guessed it is, not what your neighbor told you over the fence that it might actually sell for. I'm talking about what it would actually sell for right now in this market. Because here's what I can tell you. From the data we've looked at, a lot of sellers in Central Texas thought they knew. And almost half of them have had to already drop their price, some of them more than once. Now that's not a great feeling. And it's completely avoidable. My name is Paulie Campanero with the Vision Realty Group. Every month I pull the freshest MLS data for Central Texas and break it down so it actually makes sense. No fluff, no spin, and I promise I'll keep the math to a minimum. So today we're looking at January 2026, and whether you're thinking about selling, keeping an eye on your equity, or you're a buyer wondering if the stars are finally aligning, this one's for you. Real quick, before we get into the numbers, if you've been wondering what your home is actually worth in today's market, we offer a free clarity report, not a computer estimate, a real person, real data, real numbers you can actually plan around. Links in the description below. Zero pressure. Now let's get into it. All right, January 2026. Let's start with the number that honestly surprised me when I looked at this report. In December, the median sales price in Central Texas was $421,500. In January, it dropped to $392,180. That's an almost $30,000 drop in 1 month. Now, before you spiral into a tizzy, let me give you the context, because January is always the slowest month of the year. People are coming off the holidays. Nobody really wants to be touring homes in January, and the mix of what sells tends to skew towards the lower price points. So some of this is seasonal, some of it's expected, but here's the thing. Even accounting for seasonality, that's a meaningful single month drop. And when you zoom out and look at where we've come from, where the median was, $490,000 at the peak of 2022, we're now sitting at $392,000. That's a real shift, not a crash, but a clear correction. Year over year, we're down 2% from last January. So the trend's been gradual, but that month over month drop from December to January, that's the kind of move that really matters. And sellers who are thinking about timing their listing and buyers who are wondering if they should wait to get a better deal have been thinking about. And we'll talk about exactly what that means for both those parties in just a minute. The other headline number that I want to talk about, 1,860 homes sold in January, that's down 12% from last January. So fewer homes are closing, prices have softened, and homes are sitting on the market longer. That's an honest no spin read on this market right now. So let's talk about inventory, because this is the engine driving everything else right now. There's just under 13,000 homes actively for sale in Central Texas. Now, this is a lot of competition if you're a seller. And if we're sitting at about 7 months of supply overall, well, there's a little bit of concern there. So here's a quick way to think about it. A balanced market is around 4 to 6 months of supply. Below 4 months, sellers are winning. Above 6 months, buyers start getting the upper hand. We're at 7. So buyers are in a pretty good spot right now. Now, that 7 months is not spread evenly across every price range. In the $300,000 to $400,000 range, which is the busiest part of the market, it's actually closest to balanced. Now, there's still a buyer pool there. If your home falls in that range and it's priced correctly, you're in the best position of any seller right now. But once you get above that $500,000 range, the inventory piles up fast, and we're talking a 9-month supply in the $500,000 range, up nearly 14 months at the luxury end. So buyers have a lot of choices right now, and they know it. They're not in a hurry. They're not panicky. They're taking their time and negotiating hard. If you're a seller above $500,000, you're not just competing with the market in general. You're competing against 800 to 900 other listings in the specific price range. That changes the conversation. Okay, now this is the part I really want sellers to pay attention to, because I'm gonna talk about something that sounds boring, days on market, but it's absolutely a money conversation. The median home in Central Texas right now sits on the market 71 days before it sells, averages 89. Both those numbers are going up. 89 days, that's nearly 3 months, and here's why that matters. The longer the home sits, the less it eventually sells for. Buyers see a home that's been sitting on the market and immediately they think, what's wrong with it? And they come in with a lower price, or they just keep scrolling. Now, here's the data point that really tells the story. Of all the homes currently listed, nearly half have already had a price drop. Half. The average price drop being 8%, and most sellers wait 88 days before they pull that trigger. After they drop their price, buyers still take another 28 days to go under contract on average. Now, 30 to 45 days to close, you do the math, and you could easily be looking at 5 or 6 months listing to close after you've already dropped your price. Here's the fun part. When you drop your price, the market notices. Buyers get alerts, they see the price reduction, and instead of thinking, oh great, now I can afford it, a lot of them think, why do they have to drop it? And they come in even lower. It's a beautiful little trap, completely avoidable, but it catches a lot of people. Price it right the first time. That's the single best thing I can tell you, any seller in this market. If you take anything away, take that away, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. Okay, December to January drop I mentioned earlier actually matters for sellers specifically. If you were looking at comparable sales from November to December to price your home, you may be working with numbers that are $20,000 to $30,000 higher than what the market's actually doing right now. January reset the floor. You need comps from January, not comps from the holidays. This is exactly why working with someone who's watching the data every single month matters. Now, let me flip this and talk to buyers for a second, because if you've been sitting on the sidelines waiting for the market to chill out a little, I've got some good news. Sellers right now are closing at about 91 cents on the dollar from the original asking price. That means buyers are consistently negotiating real money off. And that number has been drifting lower and lower over the last year. Now, buyers have been quietly winning at the negotiation table every single month. So for buyers, here's the thing, that the January price drop that we talked about earlier from 421,000 in December down to 392 in January, well, that kind of move is actually a reason to pay attention right now. Some sellers listed in the fall are sitting on homes that were priced based on a stronger market. They haven't caught up to where January's landed. Now, that gap creates real negotiation room for you and for people who are prepared on what they're looking at. So do your homework to figure out which sellers may be more motivated. A good agent should be able to inform you about that. All right, now the $300,000 to $500,000 range is still active. Those homes move, but look, you're not writing offers in a panic with 10 other people behind you like it was a few years ago. That frantic waive the inspection, write a love letter energy, look, for the most part, that's gone. And I'll comment more on that in a second. Now, above $500,000 is where buyers have the most leverage, lots of inventory, motivated sellers, real room to negotiate. If you've been patient and you're ready, your patience may be ready to pay off. Okay, so here's the disclosure, because this tip could save you a lot of time and money. Homes that are priced right and have more features and benefits can see multiple offers. Now, this is for buyers and sellers right now. It can happen in this market. So you may not see it as often because homeowners are not being as strategic as they could. I lost out on a property just last week with my buyers who made an offer over asking price, and the property had 5 offers on it. Now, it was nicer than most of the properties around the neighborhood, not nicer than all, and it was priced competitively based off of the comparable numbers of recent sales. Every other listing was over the more recent sales. And so that was an opportunity. It was an opportunity for the seller to get it priced right and sell over what the actual recent sales have sold for. And if you're a buyer, look, you got to pay attention on what's going on and reach out to these listing agents to figure out what's happening, because each property is still circumstantial, and the sellers who are being strategic are the ones who are winning. Oh, by the way, I see that happening, those types of opportunity happening every single week. Think about it. A lot of homes are on the market. Only around 15% sell a month. Most homes are overpriced. Few homes have more features and benefits, and they're priced right. And when those homes come up, buyers are jumping on those deals. So the moral of the story is stop being so afraid of the market, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. Don't fall into that typical seller slump that comes from fear when you think you should start high and leave room for negotiations. The sellers who win big, who sell for more, are the ones who understand the data and price it right. Okay, I want to talk directly to homeowners watching this for a second. If you've ever pulled up Zillow, you've looked at their estimate and you thought, that can't be right. You're probably right. Those algorithms are doing their best, bless their hearts. But an algorithm is never gonna walk through your front door and see your upgrades. They don't know about that special neighbor down the street who's using their front yard as a parking lot. All right, you want clarity. You need someone who actually understands the market and has options. That's what the clarity report is. A real person, real current data telling you honestly what your home is worth right now. So you can make a decision that doesn't waste your time or your money. Stop guessing so you can start planning. Links in the description below for a free consultation. Absolutely zero obligations. All right, let me bring it all home. January 2026 in plain English. Prices dropped nearly $30,000 from December, partly seasonal, partly real. Year over year, we were down about 2% and well off the 2022 peak. About 1,860 homes sold, down 12% from last January. Homes are sitting 71 days on median, almost 90 days on average. Nearly half of everything listed has already seen a price drop, and we've got 7 months supply overall, with buyers holding significant leverage above 500,000. Now, here's the honest take. This is not a broken market. People are buying. Sellers are selling. The difference is in this market, you really can't just wing it. The data is pretty clear about what happens when sellers go in overpriced and unprepared. Strategy wins right now. Having the right people in your corner makes a real, measurable difference. Now, that's not a pitch. That's what the numbers say. Now, here's something I want to spend just a minute on, because this is where Vision Realty Group does something most agents simply can't offer. Most agents have one way to sell your home. They put it in the MLS, put a sign in your yard, then they say a prayer that it'll sell. Now, that's 98% of realtors' playbook. I have 6 different ways to bring you an offer. Now, look, 6 different ways designed around 6 different situations, because not every seller needs the same thing. Some people need speed and certainty, and they gotta be somewhere. Some people want full market exposure, but with a guaranteed offer in their back pocket, just in case. Some people need to sell the home that they're in now to buy the next one. Some would rather skip the parade of strangers walking through on Saturday afternoons. Totally valid, by the way. And we have an option for all of it. And our job is to figure out which one actually fits your life, not just push you towards whatever is most convenient for us. I built this organization bringing clarity to my clients so they can understand exactly what's going on. Options, so they have a plan that works for them. And ultimately, I'm gonna bring you a result that you can expect. Real estate shouldn't feel like a guessing game. And with the Vision Realty Group, it won't. That's your January 2026 Central Texas market breakdown, real numbers, plain English, no drama. If this was useful, hit that like button. It helps more people find this content, and subscribe if you want the update every month. Same format, same honest take on whatever the market is doing. If you've got specific questions about price range or about the area that you're in, what does this number drop mean to you in your area? Comment below, I'll read them and cover it. I'm Paulie Campanero, Vision Realty Group. Your vision is my mission.